Lake and Lime Lake. Bird Lake in Jefferson Township, Lime Lake in Wright Township. Now, both of those are fairly new systems. I mean, Bird Lake was done, what, maybe 20, 25 years ago? And Lime Lake more recently than that, maybe 20 years ago.
Do you know if they're pressurized?
I have no
Yes.
idea.
Yes.
Almost all of them, you know, are pressurized, and when they're pressurized, they've got the line, the wire on the line itself, so it can be located anytime. Because right now at Mary Lake, you go out there and try to locate it, you ain't finding nothing. There's nothing to locate.
So I guess my concern is if none of these internet companies have done work on those two lakes, I think it would be good if they would communicate with the property owners around those lakes before they get started, that we're gonna do this work. Cause it's a whole lot different when you're talking about property around a lake than it is just going down a country road.
Well, and back to what I said, they need to contact the sewer authority and find out exactly what's there before they start in.
So because we issued the permits, is it on us to make sure that stuff happens, or it is not on us to make sure that happens?
It's on the contract.
So, when they get the permit, we give them a permit, we tell them they've got to abide by our policies and blah, 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 and misdig and blah, 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 you know, the things that they have to do. So their requirement for misdig is to put in a ticket saying, we're gonna dig in this area. And misdig shoots it out to everybody, which includes the sewer company, or the sewer authority. They're responsible for coming out and marking them. They couldn't, they didn't, because there was nothing to mark. They had no idea where to mark.
So when you say they, who is they when it comes to the sewer line? Who marks the sewer line?
It'd be like their
The authority.
drainage commissioner or whatever for the township. They've got a drainage district. Whoever's in charge of that is in charge of marking those lines.
He's supposed to know where
And I think they could and did mark the main line because they could.
Well,
Nothing else was marked because, in my opinion, they couldn't. There was nothing to find.
So you're telling me that the Mary Lake person who is responsible for the sewers knew that
They were coming
that he or she was in charge of making sure that sewer line was marked in the appropriate sewer line?
Yes. And knew they were coming through because he got the
So
mistake request.
what's his response in that he didn't mark the laterals?
I haven't got it.
the only thing he could mark was the one that had the tracer
You
wire.
can't mark the gravity
Couldn't mark the
fibers.
others.
I understand he can't mark them, but he knows that they're there, and he knows that he couldn't mark them. What was the communication? That's what I'm
That's
asking.
all in the mistake, and we can't see that because
Okay.
we didn't put it
You're
in.
not part of that.
We can only see what we put in.
Right.
Each person that puts in a mistake, they're down in the companies that get sent to, they're the ones that can see it. So to me, yes, they got a notification saying this company's coming through to do this, mark your lines. If we had a culvert there, technically we gotta go out there and mark that culvert. You
Right.
know, they've gotta go out and mark their utility. Any other utility's gotta go out and mark their utility. And you gotta enter in that system, yes, we got something, no, we don't have something, yes, it's marked. They've gotta reply to that. So apparently either put nothing to mark or they're marked. I don't know, cause I can't see that.
Now Pittsford, Jefferson, and Bird Lake are the same sewer system. And they're pressurized.
Okay.
But I put 2 Lions Club signs up along 34. And so I called Miss Dave. In the sewer system, they've got tracers.
Mhm.
And how, I don't know, but anyway, the sewer line went right between both of my poles. Right in the middle. So I called the sewer guy and I said, how accurate are these? Because I told him, I said, we're only looking at 2.5 foot each way of that line. He said, they're exact. Okay, I asked him, and we didn't hit it, so apparently he was right.
But according to Miss Dig, you've got a hand dig within so close.
I don't have a shovel.
You just say, I used the shovel and go with
Oh,
it.
yeah, I have relics.
So anyway, just so you know, we do have another permit that's, and I forget what the company is, it's another company that's, and we're gonna be in a battle with them, is that they submitted a project, which is 2/3 of the county. Well, no, your project's gonna be one road. You know, and so they're gonna have multiple permits, gonna cost them a lot of money for all these, but they've got it all drawn out to where it goes from the west side of the county all the way over to,
Is this fiber
they're
too?
probably about here, it runs a line about like this.
Is this the one that came in last board meeting, gave everybody a printout?
That was
And the
DMCI.
Yes, it is
Yes,
deep
so
down.
you guys got that information last board
So
meeting of
They're
where,
looking to do a huge section of the county,
Right, he wants to break out his permit fee too.
and
That's DMCI.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I was drawing a blank on the company, but as soon as you said that, it is
Alright.
DMCI.
'cause he brought a copy for everybody.
Right.
So they could see.
Right. So that's gonna be huge. Now, it doesn't go over and cover those lakes that you just talked about, because I don't think it got that far yet. But I'm imagining, once they get this done, they're gonna go to the other side. Same with all these other companies and. Yeah, right there.
So DMCI, again, we can talk about this, maybe that's not appropriate at this meeting. I guess I would like an update of your conversation with them. Because
Well, he's
essentially,
gonna come meet with us.
okay, so
we
you
just
haven't had it, okay.
We just had a
alright,
couple
okay,
of phone
Okay,
relays.
alright.
We're gonna meet and go through
Okay,
what he's wanting to do, what we're expecting to do, what CRA's suggesting by road. And I believe they're even saying no more than 6 miles on one road, which most townships, you know,
Right.
that's what it is.
That's
But,
about a township.
but there's a lot of roads on there that are like sections of roads, so we're gonna have to come up with either a new policy or something specific, or a mile's worth of road, or, because if we do a permit per road,
Oh,
they're hundreds of thousands of dollars to,
and that wasn't in this grant.
and I'm
okay,
sorry it's not in the grant, but,
right. Okay,
all right, moving on. Unless, everybody got any more questions on
I hope not.
the Mary Lake
No,
area issue? Still keeping on track with it, and
Oh, I do want to ask a question.
Oh, no.
Lake Diane. Has anybody mentioned Amboy Township about seal coat net?
Didn't they sign a contract?
For seal coat and all Lake Diane?
What contract did they just approve last,
I think you just did.
we just approved some last board meeting, I think.
The interior?
Amboy Township, East Diane subdivision, Seal and Fog, East Diane, Dale, Hilltop, and View Drive, and then Florida Lane, West Diane Drive to Point of End, Seal Coat and Fog Seal. That was just from last board meeting, you guys approved it.
Okay. Cause that,
I'm not feeling so bad anymore.
now you're starting,
Oh, and then
it's
Woodward
called
is
old timers.
doing
The,
the Sampson Road.
oh, okay,
Point End.
then I get a phone call, from our normal guy there, that Blaine's dozing again. Have you
Well,
seen?
yes. He has dozed off the right of way, and he's also dozed in the middle of Monte Carlo. And he's put some big building getting put up there.
Was that his memorial thing?
No,
Oh.
no, this is a big like pole barn type building.
I heard about that.
Other than right where it's like, I guess getting the stuff in and out, he's off the right of way. But same thing, and I had a talk with him the other day, even East Diane, yeah, that's East Diane right there, has to be shaved down a little bit more. With all these big rains, I went and looked at it right after all these big rains, nothing came out on the road. But he had like a little ditch dug over to right at the bottom. And so that, like when it comes down and makes that curve, he dug a ditch over to his pond to keep everything from going out there, and it went there. But it wouldn't take much to wash that out. So I'm telling him he's gotta take that, like the road's here and it kind of slopes.
Oh, yeah.
It all slopes away from the road right now, but I think it needs to slope another, take it down another foot. And so that way it's definitely,
Gotta go that way.
so right now it's holding its own, not pushing water or dirt and stuff out on the road, but the way it is, I think it needs to be more. So I did talk with him last week, and that's when I drove by and saw that whole building going up. He's intended to level that whole big hill off there in the middle of Monte Carlo, and basically push all that dirt to fill that in and level that out. What he does on his property, I guess, is.
You gotta finish one project
I would
first.
think so, yeah.
Is there any more, while we're on him, is there any more info on his desire to pave that section of road?
He still wants to do it, but again, until he straightens up a few other things, we've kind of got an estimate or, ballpark, but we're not gonna entertain or sign anything until everything's good. And then it's gonna be back to you guys to say, do you wanna allow a resident to pave part of the road and stop? But you're gonna have a couple of them here real quick, him plus one more, the next road up.
On Lake Diane or someplace else?
No, actually, where we're having the water issue at Harmon.
Oh, yes, yes.
Harmon Road, they're gonna wanna have that paved up to the top of the hill there, cause there's all kinds of stuff that's going in there.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be two, right in that same location, that are asking to basically pave about a quarter mile each.
Is that an Amish property?
It would go by an Amish property, but it's the
Log hauler.
the resident on the north side of the road.
Okay.
But the pavement isn't going to connect to another piece of pavement.
No, they're
It's
just
gonna be a
dirt
hill.
roads from there. What's that?
It's gonna be a hill.
Well, it'll be paved going up the hill, and that's to help trucks and stuff
So
go up
it's
there.
from a road.
From a paved road.
Yes,
From
from
a
a paved
paved road, okay.
From, the one is from Hillsdale, past the church, up the hill, and probably just slightly over the hill to keep the water from running too bad. The other one is Monte Carlo, that runs from a paved road up past his and stops there.
Yeah,
So
so
there-
the one on Harmon, you've got M99 or South Hillsdale Road.
Right, I'm
And
looking,
this goes west up to the top of the hill.
okay.
And we're gonna need to do something personally, if he doesn't, or that needs to be the cost share or something, with that first part that comes down past the church. Cause right now, all the water's coming off the road and that's what's going, and so with the tube and the catch basin and all that, that originally was paved at one time down to there because of a water issue, but it's so old and crumbled up, it's not paved anymore, it's just gravel and chunks of asphalt. So I think we need to pave at least down to the church anyway, and if the resident wants to go from there up past his place, I'd say that's all on them.
And that's all on Harmon Road still.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the church must be near Hillsdale Road?
It's right on the corner. Their parking lot is actually paved, it matches up to Hillsdale Road and comes around on Harmon. It's paved, but the road itself now is gravel and washes gravel and water down into there. So, been trying to work with the church to tell them what we're doing. We did that, Monday to try to help with the water issue. But I told them it's gonna be and apparently they have given a significant bill with their lawyer to the resident across the street from them because of all the water
She
issues.
created the problem.
So the pavement of the road would be on us, not on this resident.
I think which is I'd call it an apron,
Right.
coming off the paved
Oh,
road. An
okay.
apron, it'd be an extended apron a little bit.
Okay,
It might go,
extended.
I think it was
Not that
120 feet or something like
Okay.
that.
And then
I think that would be us.
That would be on us.
Anything from there on up over the hill would be
On him.
the resident.
Well, my point is also doesn't go to the other resident that created the water issue
No,
either.
I don't think that,
Because that's kinda our maintenance, it's something we let
yes.
deteriorate and
Yeah.
so we're gonna.
Even though they kinda did the deterioration, hauling that stuff in there, but
Right,
that's a hard
Okay.
battle.
okay, alright.
To me, for that 120 foot of apron isn't worth the hassle.
Is it worth the argument?
But at that point, no, the rest of that isn't
Then
anything to
that's
do
a
with their
different resident
water. Yeah.
if they so choose. And we have to decide if we're gonna allow
Yes,
partial paving of roads.
yes.
And I guess I would need more information about the pros and cons of why we would want to do it versus why we wouldn't want to do it. And that would be, you know, is it additional cost to the road commission, you know, it just, what things should we be thinking about? I guess I would like a pros and cons kind of thing given to me so I can, you know, help think that process through.
Okay.
Please.
There is some precedent here already.
That was brought when.
We have a situation in Wright Township, off from Broom Road, at the elevator, a mile east of town. There's a section of road there that got paved a number of years ago, and the elevator paid for it.
100%.
Was that a cap or was it
No,
gravel to pave?
No, it was gravel, they paved it up to the elevator.
All right,
Because when you're going in there, when you're coming out of there, well, both going in and coming out.
Yep.
You got grain trucks going in at harvest time, loaded, and then you got grain trucks coming out of there that are hauling grain to Toledo or,
What is it, about a quarter of a mile?
no,
I don't think it's that much.
it's probably no more than an eighth of a mile at the most.
and to be honest with you, probably these two are about the same. I use a quarter mile, that's probably
It
neat.
just runs past the elevator.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
just past the edge of the
And
scale
they-
house.
Yeah.
I had big problems with that giving out.
Yeah.
In the winter months when they were hauling, it just mush it up, so. Pete-
Well, and with what's going on Harmon Road, he's gonna have significant truck traffic
Right,
coming in and out
right,
of there.
cause he's going in the backside.
And so I think what he's, don't quote me and don't kill me if I'm wrong, but, he's looking at bringing the trucks in on South Hillsdale and then going through their stuff and everything will come out on Harmon and exit on Harmon. So,
What does this individual do that there's so many trucks?
Glenn Page, he's a timber buyer and processor.
G&D wood products.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's what's going
and
on.
he's putting up a whole new building for a whole new process to create a whole new product that he's gonna be,
Having more truck traffic,
yes.
and he's willing to pay for the pavement of the road.
Well, we've joked back and forth about it, but I've basically told him, well, if you wanna pay for it, we'll look at paving it, but
So if,
he's gotta be willing to pay as a minimum from where we do the apron
Up to-
and a heavy, if he's gonna run, and that's
well,
saying
that was my other question, is it gonna be kind of a class A
Yes,
type
it would
of
have to be. And
installation?
same for
Okay.
Monte Carlo, cause
Right.
he's looking to run his heavy equipment
Right,
to that point.
right,
And so, and I think Monte Carlo, he's talking like 5.5, 6 inches of asphalt.
Okay.
So, I think we talked about 3 lifts of 2 inches.
Okay.
So, yeah.
and do we have to change the base or anything because it's a
No, I
class
think the base
A?
is probably good, and if you put 6 inches of asphalt on it, we might have to build the shoulders on Harmon a little bit, cause it goes, right in that one area, it goes muck to muck, yeah. But,
Could have a little tendency to tip that road a little bit. Toward that field.
Okay,
so anyway, I think I've talked enough.
No, you got more.
Oh,
New
yes,
business.
well, that goes more of the agenda, right?
Yeah. We kind of already touched base in your manager's comment about it, but
Yeah, a little bit. So. I'll
You
leave-
done?
Yeah.
Huh,
You got any questions?
Nope,
no, we had enough.
so we move on to new business now.
we're gonna do old business
Is
first.
there any
Yeah,
old-
they got old business there.
Oh, okay.
Is there any old business? So that, new business, approved construction engineering for MDOT, small urban project. three,
You got that?
30,000 dash
Right in front of
22,
you.
40, 64, and various road projects. 30,000 dash 21, 64,
We didn't give it to
58.
you guys,
Why not?
because this is first for our minutes and he's gonna explain it to you right now.
Well, don't we need the,
It wasn't a bid.
Need what?
This is
Well,
what he's to explain,
so-
because there's multiple things on here, so how can,
the last meeting I was here, and we talked about,
she emailed it to you, I believe.
Well, she did,
Well, it wasn't part of the agenda packet.
but I would've thought it would've been part of, if, in my opinion, if you want me to make a decision on something, I should have a hard copy in front of me to look at versus me having to go to my phone, but I will go to my phone and look at it.
we can go print out some
So
real
are we
quick.
talking about this
No, we're
stuff?
talking about this very first thing.
Okay, yeah.
So you're gonna print out some, and
I
I'll
She
will
go,
sent
print
an
out
email
the-
out yesterday, if anybody had questions, they could come talk to her and discuss it.
And I looked at it,
Okay,
I looked at it,
I'm just saying that's what
I
happened.
did
I'm
too.
just surprised it wasn't in our packet for us to have in front of us as we're trying to make a decision.
you're about to have it.
Okay,
So anyway, what it comes down to is we went in and looked at what we spent on, and it's always been our people, whether it be Heather, whether it be one of the drivers that went on the inspection, and summer intern, or, you know,
These also include SME on the other project, it's not 100% our people, I don't believe.
on the, like the Concord, Jonesville, Herring, that kind of stuff.
I was looking at the two, okay.
So there's, the two on the bottom are basically 96,000 for SME to do the various roads, and then 35,000, almost 36,000 to do the small urban project. That's to do inspection, testing, construction, engineering, and it's a kind of an hourly rate for depending on what we ask them to do. And so this is kind of a worst case scenario of what we think that's gonna be, based on the items that we told them we're gonna need them to do, so they gave us a rough estimate of what they thought it would take them. All the rest of them that aren't in yellow are things that we've done with internal forces, and it's what it cost us to do that, along with the manpower, you know, not being able to do other things. So it's not really that far off, and we're talking 9 miles worth of roads for these two projects. If you add up some of the others that we had to do for 2 miles, it's in that same ballpark, really.
This is to be done this year?
Yes, because these are the ones that they're gonna start on the 20th. Concord, Jonesville, Territorial Road to start the mill and fills. And then, I believe it's also the 20th for the small urban.
For the bar
Gurkha's
and
doing
Spring
both
Street?
jobs, we don't know which one they're starting first.
Yeah, Gherkin's doing them both.
20th of July?
Mhm.
And be completed on the 14th and 15th of August.
in 25, we did 5.31 miles mill and fill, and it was only $37,000. This is 96. If I apply the same rate from that one, it should be about 54,000. Did you explain why there's a difference?
Because it's a contractor and not our,
So this was our forces in
Yes.
25?
everything in white is our forces.
Okay, and we don't have the manpower, or why don't we do it ourselves this time?
Heather's done a lot of it. She's now tasked with a lot more stuff that she's gotta try to learn here in the next couple months. We don't have an intern. And the other inspector we can use, that we used in the past, but he's now in the sign shop, so we've gotta balance. Do we need him in the sign shop, or do we need him inspecting the project for all summer? Or for better than a month? So, we are recommending that we go with the contractor and let us use the workforce where we need them, and free up Heather.
Kathy, I looked back here on some of these others, and, just here in 2023, you got Camden Road, a mile and a half. We spent 70,500 of our own money on a mile and a half.
Yeah, keep in mind, and I'll jump in here, that was a crush and shape with an HMA overlay, where the others were just mill and fills.
Okay,
So it's a little bit different as far
Must
as,
be different.
you still gotta do density no matter what you do, and that's, density and the engineering are the biggest things.
You said these was gonna be completed August, what?
14th and 15th. They're talking one project the 14th, the other the 15th, they just don't know which one they're gonna start first. So basically about a month to get them done.
A few years ago, we've hired these people before, so.
Oh, we use SME quite
We
often.
use them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this is piggybacking off of Jackson's, competitive bid at the hourly rates for each thing, whether it's a technician, whether it's an engineer, whether it's an inspection. They got hourly rates for each person, and that's using the same exact figures that they gave Jackson.
There's not much of Bar and Spring Street. Well, no, Spring Street. There'd be quite a little bit of that mechanic
Well, 1.69 miles.
total for the
Total.
project.
If you compare that to the mill and fill in 2023 on Montgomery Road, that was a mile and a half, and that was, if you round up, that was 32,000. So you're just doing a little over than that, and it goes up.
Yeah. I would move that we approve SME to do, the work on these two projects.
Do you support that?
Yes.
Any more discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Alright. Approved numerous contracts. You wanna explain them, Don?
Okay, so this is where Ken's gonna get interested. Okay, so Primoris is the solar company that went into Fayette and part of Allen Township. They're the original ones they're out there on their phase one. I'm not even discussing phase two.
Okay, so what's this Primoris name versus the Heartwood?
Same thing.
Versus
Primoris is the parent company to Heartwood.
And how are they related to Power Ranger?
Same thing. They're the one and only solar. They just got a bunch of little.
Shell company.
Okay,
Yes.
alright,
They confuse you with all kinds of names.
okay, well, that's what I was kinda wondering when I was
Primoris
reading my
is
stuff.
the parent company to everything to do with that solar
Part of it.
part in Fayette and Allen. And so basically, we worked out, through several negotiations, that on Jonesville Road, and it says Jonesville Road, but there is a little portion of Bun Road that, will get some of the HMA. So we're gonna do a paver patch, and shoulder gravel on Jonesville Road and a little bit on Bun Road, because those are the two paved roads that they used. And so we're gonna try to heal those in as best we can where they were using those. And that's gonna be 1,350 tons of asphalt and 450 tons of shoulder gravel. When we do, the cost share, they're paying for all the materials. It's gonna be $121,575 that they're gonna pitch in.
And then the rest of it, we're gonna pick up, because that's.
It's our people doing it, it's our equipment labor.
We're treating it just like a township agreement.
Okay.
Why are we treating it like a township agreement if they've created the damage? How come they're not paying
You
100% of
can't
it?
guarantee or you can't prove that all the damage was done.
Right.
So you're gonna either fight them over what little damage or what damage they feel they did, or treat them like a township, and they aren't balking at it,
Okay,
and
See, and this came about before we put in our negotiations like with the other solar fields where they have to have money in escrow.
yes. That's what caused that escrow one, is this,
Okay.
right here.
okay,
So we're not arguing at the end of what you're gonna repair. So anyway, they're gonna pave Jonesville and a portion of Bunn.
okay,
Those are the only 2 paved roads that they used. Then, the gravel roads, there's a whole slew of them here, total almost 7.5 miles. And we told them we wanted 1,500 ton, which is the same thing we tell the townships, if they're gonna do anything with their roads, 1,500 ton a mile. Comes out to 11,250 tons. And again, the material for them is 180,000, and then our crews spreading it.
I thought there was some talk about some limestone being used.
I'll
Oh, sorry,
get there.
it wasn't in the estimate.
Well, and that's where I've got to work with Primoris on that, is to, because originally when we talked, they were thinking, hey, we'll use limestone for all of it,
Right,
because they're a southern company and they're used to limestone.
Okay.
And I'm like, sure, we can use limestone for everything, until they found out that, gravel's like 16 bucks a ton, and limestone here is 35 bucks a ton, where they're used to, it's more like 16 bucks a ton for limestone. And so they kind of like, whoa. I think they'd be more than willing to, and if it's already limestone road, to use limestone on it versus
right,
gravel. Now, the quirk to this is, I've been talking with Allen Township, that even, not only if it's a limestone road to use limestone, but they would like every road in, which not too many of them are in Allen Township of these, but any road to be limestone. So if it's a gravel now, they want limestone on it, so that they start from taking it, so that you start being able to limestone all your roads.
As we go forward, that's
As you
what
go
we've been
forward.
using.
So I'm gonna talk with them about that, and whether there's a cost difference, or maybe we adjust the tonnage, to adjust the same price, but use limestone instead of gravel. Well, I'm gonna work with them on that. Now, the township has said if push comes to shove, that if they need to, they can help pick up the cost difference between gravel and limestone for those roads. So we got a couple avenues, but I'm gonna press Primoris to do it. So in that case, there's 180,000 for that, 121,000 for the other. And they've signed it, they've agreed to it. If you guys elect to sign it, agree to it, we'll press forward. It is gonna take a while. The paver patching and stuff will be easy. We can do that with our paver, or our patching later in the year. The gravel, it's gonna take a while, because we're gonna have to finish up our gravel and
Plus we gotta get it hauled in.
before we gotta get hauled in before we can start laying that.
11,250 ton of gravel.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
a lot of
Where
gravel.
would we stage it at?
We've got a couple different pits, but if it's Allen, we can stage it, some of it in,
Watkins?
Watkins. We can stage some of it in Osseo, we can stage some of it, there's a few different pits, but.
So you need a motion for us to agree to this?
Yes.
Yes, I would say we need a motion for both of these,
Mhm.
contracts with Primoris.
So moved.
or,
Any more discussion?
so the gravel roads you say are gonna take more time. My concern is how much, when do they have to be done by so that winter doesn't just tear them up?
We will have to make that call, and it might have to get some of it done this year and some of it done next year, if it goes that long. But at some point, we'll have to say, okay, we're not gonna put any more on, we'll let it set over the winter, and we'll start back up in the
Especially
spring,
limestone.
especially the limestone.
Probably by at least 1st of October, wouldn't it?
That's pushing it.
I'd maybe go at the end of October, but
Well,
no farther than that,
I guess with all this money putting into these roads, I would hate to do it
and then blade it all off.
exactly.
I agree
I
with you.
would prefer, and I would hope the townships would understand that, to put that off and do it earlier in the following season so that
Yeah.
the longevity of the road is there. But,
I would agree.
Okay,
okay,
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries.
So, Bob, there is one other item of new business that I wanna propose.
Okay,
So, I'll come back to this, our next scheduled meeting date is the 23rd. And, you know, I'm going to be at that county road insurance meeting, and I would like to move our last meeting in July to whether it's the 30th or some other day that week. Because I would like to be here for the meeting.
To muddy the waters, I will also say I will not be here for the August 13th meeting, and that's Parks and Road Commission, because I'm at an CPA conference in Frankenmuth that day, so.
So I would move that we move the meeting to Thursday, the 30th of July.
Well, I can guarantee I'll be here the 23rd, I won't guarantee I'll be here the 30th. So, I don't know that I won't, but I'm not gonna guarantee I will, so. Because that is a full week, I have no other commitments, and I may choose to be out of town. Seeing how I haven't been out of town much, yeah, so. And I have no other commitments.
Arizona's not out of town.
Well, it's not Arizona, I'd like to get up to the river, I haven't, or Indian River, I haven't hardly, I have been up there to work, but I have
I
not been
know
up
that
there yet.
feeling.
Yes, so anyways, that's, but again, you guys do what you want.
I need sport.
I just wouldn't leave it the way it is.
Where'd that contract go?
Oh.
Oh, it's still here, I've been thinking, so I
She's
haven't been
thinking.
signing,
Okay,
because I can't do two things at once, that I do know.
Can't multitask.
Well, I do, but I can't sign and discuss if I wanna make my point heard. So, anyway,
Mike, you support my motion? Huh? You support my motion.
oh, yes.
Hear that, Bob?
Yeah. All right. I thought I'd better wait till we sign this.
there we go.
You wanna make sure she gets her signature on the
Exactly.
page, right?
Exactly.
Well, while you're signing, I guess I do have one other quick thing. We did receive the,
But then
Well, we
there's
got a
on the
motion, we got a
table.
motion on the floor.
oh, dang it. Did I lock up the meeting?
Guess that shut him up.
I think I'll sign you on in center.
Yeah. Okay, we got a motion to move the meeting to the 30th of July. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
No,
You know, it's happened 3 times in 3 meetings.
that's your job, Bob.
We want you to earn your money.
Right, yeah. Are we guaranteed we're gonna have a quorum on the 23rd?
Yeah, I'll be
Yes.
here,
I'll be here.
I'll be here.
I won't be.
You won't.
Okay, we'll
I'll
leave
be
it the
here.
same. Oh, say no.
So the meeting's still the 23rd then? Okay.
I hate to, but We need more people.
You got two more. How many more? You're like the Democrats wanting to pack the Supreme Court.
Now that wasn't nice.
Now, wait a minute, let me get my last thing in before you start. Mine's an easy one. We received the updated or the new version of the MDOT contract for state trunk lines. It's due to go back to them by
End of September.
September, yep. And we have to mark in there, how we wanna bill them, whether, do we spread it out over the year, do they reimburse us for the vehicles like they've been doing, all the little things that we have to do. And so we'll go through and mark that out, make sure everybody's good with it, but it's a 5-year contract again, because that's how they do it, every 5 years they do a new contract. And I suggest that we stay the same, getting reimbursed the way we're getting reimbursed and not trying to spread it out. So I think we lose on that. But we'll go through and we'll mark all the blocks. I'll come back and we'll discuss what each one of them has to do and get it in before the deadline.
Are the increases adequate for our increase in costs?
Probably not. They weren't adequate to begin with, but they cover everything that we're doing. I mean, could we do more if they give us more money? Sure, but we would then need more people to do the extra work. But I'd love more money from them, but it's a statewide contract, so
Yeah.
we're small potatoes compared to some of the
Yes, we are.
the counties that have the contract with them. So
Yep.
I think we fare well by purchasing the vehicles and equipment and putting them on there for 5 years. And
Yeah, if we didn't, we wouldn't be getting.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to buy trucks if it
No.
wasn't for that.
so anyway, I just want to let you know that that's out there. By the end of October, we have to have that back into them, and that would be it. I'm done.
Public comment.
Yes. I'm looking at this stuff that the power company's paying to do. And I noticed you stopped at Bean Road. Is it because you do it by the mile, or did they use it that far? Because here's why I'm going, is Bean Road connects all those across. So if they were coming down to keep off at 12, I can see them going south Bean Road using that. So my question is, did they use Bean Road, and should they be doing that as well? But the other question I got is Glasgow Road is not on here. Glasgow is the one that goes north from 12 to Jonesville Road.
Yes, that is the other issue that I was.
And that's the one that's got the big hole where they run the power line under through there and it's caving in. And I had the guy there's one resident on that road, and he's the guy that tore a hole in his oil pan. He said that they've used that road tremendously.
Okay.
And Lewis has also told me the same thing, which they own the land around, most of it around it. So
They've been pretty good about, if
Yeah.
I've said, hey, we need to look at this section, or we went and drove them the one day. They've been pretty good about it, so let me,
Sand Lake Road, we limestoned that, the township limestoned that from 12 to Bean Road about 3 years ago, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. You guys put 1,000, 1,500 ton, whatever you put on it. And so definitely, they should replace that back with what it had.
Right.
Because it already had that. The rest of them, and I don't have a problem with you going into next year to do some of them, as long as they're straight where people aren't gonna bounce their head off the ceiling or some stuff like that. But when we find out if we could get a estimate what the township would be paying, so we can. But I know that the township's been pretty unified on, we wanna use limestone going forward, because
that's good.
we don't like the gravel that comes out of the Watkins pit for one thing. Okay. But, anyway, so that was that. Point of reference for you on the people putting in the fiber optic, DMCI has their own crews. They bought the equipment, all that do it themselves, so
I would agree with that. Yep.
so you just know that. So then the other thing, where would I go for about a drain problem? Drain commissioner, or?
Yes.
Because,
When you say drain problem, some people say it's a drain
Well-
problem.
Or is it a culvert?
Is it actually a drain? A county
yeah,
drain?
it's McConnell Drain,
Then yes.
goes through that area right there by Cronk Road and
Yeah.
Western Road.
Drain commission.
And I had a citizen tell me that one of the residents there where it goes through his land plugged the thing. He goes, and that's causing a lot of your road problems, cause the water can't get through.
Yes, definitely.
He goes, I can walk you back here to show you where it's at, but I didn't, I said, I'm not into a big walk on somebody else's property. So I just need to talk to the drainage commissioner. about
Yes.
that.
I'll find out where his dog's at first.
I think that's all I had written down, so. I could make up stuff, but I don't think that would be beneficial to anybody.
Got anything with?
Nope, I'm good.
I move we adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank God I didn't